Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So, Bitcoin survives Black Monday. Yes, we had a huge dump today. But it does seem like recovery has begun. Oops, okay, I gotta quiet that. But it does seem like recovery has begun. So, let's talk about it. Is this real? Is it fake? What happened exactly today? Let's digest everything. All right. Welcome, guys. As you can see, we're a little bit better than this morning. This morning we hit a low of 49,000 a couple of times. We struggled right around that 50,000 mark for quite some time. We have broken out a little bit back to 55.6. That's not bad. Can we hit 60,000 again tomorrow? If so, then it's not that bad. It's not that bad, right? However, we did drop a huge amount today, okay? This morning it was like minus 17%. Right now, we have come up a little bit. We're seeing some recovery, some green. And overall, you could see global market cap is still down about 13%, but that's way better than this morning. Way better. Today was a horrible day all around. Okay, the U.S. market closed at minus 1,000 Dow. We haven't seen that since 2022. NASDAQ down 576. But the good news is, if you look at Asia right now, okay, Japan is up 10%. It dropped 13% yesterday, but it's up 10%. So it does seem like even Wall Street, or, you know, whoever the Wall Street of Japan is, they are buying. They are buying, right? So tomorrow, let's see, our futures market looks pretty green. Is it going to be green? We'll see tomorrow morning. But right now, things are looking better. We had a horrific day. We haven't had a sell-off like this since 2022 in 2 years for our equities and crypto. And in case you're wondering, we have 1.41 trillion wiped out today. Today's one of those days, like I said, if you have dry powder, you should be buying. Today was one of those really good buying opportunities. This morning, that's what I said. This is why you got to have cash on the side, right? Because the big money, the smart money, and I'll show you, they're the ones buying. You're supposed to buy when prices are low. If you love Bitcoin at 70,000, you should love it way more at 49,000 or 50,000, right? Same thing with equities. You had a whole bunch of selling today, panic selling. But here's the thing. It was kind of hard if you were in equities today, right? Almost every single trading platform went down, including Robinhood was down like the entire day, right? Because mostly retail investors were panic selling. In fact, with all these platforms down, actually probably it helped us. It helped people from not panic dumping. So sometimes it's actually a good thing. But overall, it shows you how bad it was, right? And everyone is still speculating whether or not the Fed Chair Powell, is going to have emergency meeting to cut the Fed fund rate early, right? We discussed it this morning. It looked very dire. Now things have recovered a little bit, so I don't know if this notion have just gone away. Elon says the Fed has been foolish for not cutting rates already, right? And this morning we had people calling for an emergency rate cut, like we need it right away. We should have a 50 basis point cut already. So what is the Fed waiting for, right? But, you know, if this is accurate, this is the prediction market predicting there's only a 7% chance before the next FOMC meeting, 7% chance that we get an emergency rate cut, right? So right now, it doesn't seem like it's going to happen. Let's see the rest of this week. If tomorrow we have a really good rally, the rest of this week we recover upwards, of course, no one is going to be complaining. But if somehow we do a 180 once again tomorrow and things get really dire once again and for the rest of this week, and of course, this percentage is going to go up, right? How does this relate to Bitcoin? Well, we know Bitcoin was created to counter all of this, right? All the shenanigans, all the bad things that our governments do with policy, with fiat, with irresponsible spending, with debt, with everything, right? But unfortunately, with these kind of sell-off days, you know, everything gets sold off. So obviously, Bitcoin sold off this morning, like I said, to 49,000, right? But it is coming back up. It's at 55, 56,000. Bitcoin overall is still very strong. Still over 100% gain for the last year, okay? We still haven't lost everything. We're not down to like the 30,000s. We're still holding strong because there are so many that believe that Bitcoin is the best asset that we have, and many are accumulating, okay? That's why. A lot of you guys watching, you know what I'm talking about. You've been in the market for long enough. You understand there will always be fuddish moments. There will be volatility. There may be black swan events. There may be huge catastrophic drops. But what happens in the end? Bitcoin picks itself up and then moves forward and forms a new high. It always happens. Every single cycle, we see the same kind of things happen. Yet, Bitcoin continues forward because Bitcoin does not care. Bitcoin does not care about any of this. Bitcoin is pure, driven by code, not people. Not like the financial systems that we have around the world, governed by people. And of course, people are flawed and they can get greedy. Bitcoin is not. Bitcoin is governed by code. That's why it's pure. And you can't manipulate it like any fiat out there. So, despite all of this, Bitcoin is still holding strong. It's still the best asset that we have, and still the one that we should continue to hodl and DCA. That's what all the big boys are doing. In fact, BlackRock, Fidelity, Grayscale, MicroStrategy did not sell their Bitcoin today. No surprise. And I'm really curious tomorrow whether or not we're going to see an inflow for BlackRock. We know that BlackRock has been accumulating some more. Actually, let me bring this up. The ETF inflow, you could see that we don't know the number for BlackRock, right? But we had some outflows today from some of the other fund managers. But we will see. Maybe we have a huge inflow. And it goes to show you, if we do, that Larry Fink, he is buying up everything. Okay, so it'll be interesting to see what the number is tomorrow. If that turns red, I'll be very, very shocked. It may just be at zero. But if it comes in like 100 million or 200 million or something shocking, then you know Larry Fink is putting all of his money into his own Bitcoin ETF, right? So it'll be really interesting to see what the numbers are tomorrow. But others that understand, like President Bukele of El Salvador, he does not care. He said he will add 1 Bitcoin per day, and he continues to do so. Doesn't matter if Bitcoin's up or down. 1 Bitcoin is 1 Bitcoin. And overall, he has 5,833 Bitcoin after today and continues to add each and every day. That's how you do it. The strategy is accumulate as much as you can while you can, right? And the best way to do it is over time by dollar cost averaging in. That's it. Today, it was also revealed that Europe's 4th largest hedge fund put $500 million into Bitcoin ETFs, like the ones from BlackRock and others, okay? So again, the big money, the smart money, what are they doing? They are accumulating Bitcoin. It may seem like everyone is selling off, and yes, of course, there are those on Wall Street that are, and those pesky retail investors with lettuce hands, they are too. But a lot of big money, smart money, and long-term holders, they're certainly not. They are accumulating, okay? You could see it. You could measure it, right? And today's Bitcoin volume, the ETF trading volume was absolutely enormous. Absolutely enormous. So definitely a lot of buying as well as selling. Obviously, we had a lot of selling. Otherwise, we wouldn't be down to 56,000. But there are a lot of people also buying, right? And the metrics tell you that you should be buying. Here's one. The NVRV ratio hasn't been this low since the collapse of FTX in 2022. Now remember, that was when Bitcoin fell down to $15,000. Okay? So this metric is showing that we are as oversold right now at 56,000 as we were at 15,000. So this is a major sign telling you buy, 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 buy. Now, of course, macro factors could drive Bitcoin down lower. I mean, it's possible. If the rest of this week and next week is all red for broader markets, Bitcoin will probably be pulled down too. But if not, this is clearly indicating that Bitcoin is in very, very oversold levels right now after a 30% drop within days, right? And again, comparing to some of the previous bottoms, right? The one I just showed you, the FTX collapse, that was the bottom of 2022. But also you can compare it to what we're going through in 2020, March of 2020, that nasty COVID drop that brought Bitcoin down from 10,000 to below 4,000. That was nasty. That was, if you look at it, it's a broadening wedge pattern, right? Descending broadening wedge. And we are looking at that right now, just on a smaller scale, right? But still, looks like history is repeating. And if we do recover back up fully, then that means we are definitely getting ready for the next leg up. And from a macro perspective too, the DXY is starting to break down. And whenever a DXY breaks down, Bitcoin starts pumping. So that's another indicator that a reversal or recovery in this case is underway. There's always like an inverse relationship between Bitcoin and the strength of the dollar. And the strength of the dollar starts decreasing. That could be very, very, very good for assets like Bitcoin, right? So all these chains or on-chain metric charts tell you that this is a great time to be buying. But outside of those things, we know Bitcoin is the one asset you don't want to panic sell. It's the one asset you want to accumulate as much of as you can while you can. Because in the future, accumulating one Bitcoin is going to be much more expensive than now. A year from now, I guarantee it's going to be higher than where it is now. Even 6 months from now, right? That's why when Bitcoin and crypto is being sold at a discount, you want to buy, buy, buy. Now, the last thing I'll share is Ethereum. So Ethereum is having a lot of FUD right now. And I don't know quite what's going on with Ethereum. The US government today transfers 300 ETH, according to Arkham. So just like Bitcoin, the US government does hold a decent amount of ETH. And it looks like they're transferring it. They're test transferring it because they may be ready to dump their 50,000 ETH to 117 million, which isn't that much. Not like the billions of Bitcoin they hold, right? But still, something to notice. I don't know why the US government is doing that. Also, this morning I covered about jump trading. They are dumping their ETH too. Not quite sure why they're doing that, but they are. And today, when ETH dropped below 3,000, it really started escalating. ETH dropped to like almost $2,200 today, guys. From 3,000 something. We're talking about a 33% drop within days. But no one knows why jump trading is doing so, but they may be in financial trouble. I don't know. Who knows? So Ethereum is definitely being sold off right now. But Bitcoin is being bought. Bitcoin is the one asset to hold, one asset to accumulate. That's really it. That's really it. All right, guys. Let's do some Q&A. All right. Let's see. Scroll up here. Johnny says, I got some MicroStrategy at 11:30 this morning. Congratulations. Peeping Turtle says, I remember when FTX crashed. I came to the channel with my tail between my legs looking for the George pep talk. I'm glad you came and you stayed because that was when Bitcoin fell to 15,000, 16,000. Evil 1981 says, I can't believe I forgot my phone at home last night when I went to work. I couldn't DCA and I was so pissed. Man, hey, you know what? It's still not a bad time to be DCAing. Bitcoin being at 55,000, 56,000. Yes, it's not as low as 50,000 this morning, but it's still a hell of a lot cheaper than yesterday or a day before. Dead cat bounce. I don't think so. If you look at the markets, like Asia, for example, Asia's doing really well. I don't know if that's considered dead cat bounce. Tomorrow's future market looks pretty good, but who knows? It could be. It could be. But we had an absolutely brutal day today. That's for sure. Should I cancel my McDonald's application? You may want to just keep that in just in case. Just in case. You know, a lot of people will be looking for a job if this continues, so might as well keep it in there. Lobster. I don't know what that means. Shady Hawk asks, what do you like to gamble on Vegas? I like playing. I got addicted to craps for a little bit, but then I started losing, so I'm not into craps anymore. But I still do like blackjack and roulette. Roulette is so like random. I never seem to win big on roulette. Blackjack's okay. I'm not a big gambler. My only gamble's with crypto, really. I mean, I could gamble tens of thousands with leverage or memes, but when it comes to a casino, like if I'm over like close to 1,000 or above, I'm done. Like I just like feel like when the money's in my hand and I'm losing it, it's way worse than like paper money on an exchange or something. Murray Higgins asked, George, thanks for what you do. What do you think would happen if the government's QTs and remove the bulk of M2 supply that they printed? And they can't just remove that supply. They've already given that out or relieved a lot of debts or whatever they did. No, they can't. They can't remove it. It's too late. Townsley. Good message. Valiance. Okay. Thank you for that. Blackjack has the best odds. I believe it's Baccarat, but I never learned how to play Baccarat. And Baccarat tables are always empty. So I'm not sure what, you know, and I hear it's just like the odds are so 50-50, so I don't know. You know what sucks about roulette in Vegas now? You know, most tables before, almost not most, all the tables before had just 2 greens, right? 0 and 00. Now they have triple greens. Most of them are triple greens. So it decreases the odds even more. And the order of the numbers are different now. So it's really for suckers. Like, you know, there are still some tables left with double greens, but most tables have been moved to triple greens. So, but most people playing don't realize the difference. But your odds are way worse, and you don't have the numbers are randomized now. So I don't know if people know that. I'm in Vegas trying my hands at 3-card poker and black. I like 3-card poker, but your money flies really, really fast. I forgot how to play it, but you're basically betting on each card, and then like you have to put like if it's like a 15 minimum, then it's like you're paying like 45 a hand or something like that. I don't know. I forgot how to play. Don't know why most real pro players play baccarat. It's like it's like it's like the one game where you could actually win money consistently over time. It seems like. Three green is just a scam. Yeah, but the thing is, almost every roulette wheel in Vegas now has 3 greens. And people just take it. Pretty soon, they're going to probably introduce 4 greens. Will Powell cut rates this month? Probably not unless he orders an emergency meeting, which right now does not seem like it's going to happen. This is pretty big news. A hedge fund having $500 million worth of Bitcoin ETFs. I mean, it just goes to show you. There are a lot of big institutions and funds that hold a lot of Bitcoin ETFs. You just don't know. Not everyone's like Sailor that will just like release it and tell everyone. A lot of people are hiding it. Robert says, learn from experience. When picking a table to play craps, always pick the table with at least 3 players over the age of 65 and don't buck the trend. Never play the don'ts. I've learned with craps, yes, it's very important to play with people that always play. Because whether or not you believe it, they have figured out their rolling and optimizes their roll so that they don't get 7, right? I don't know what it is, but you know, with a lot of these guys that play forever, they have like this certain way to throw it, and they can throw for like 30 minutes without hitting a 7. And it's just like endless money that you're winning, right? But you know, if you're playing on a table with a lot of like newbies, especially in Vegas, all tourists, and you could see they're just like randomly throwing dice, it's guaranteed to be a loss. Like, you know, if you're playing with a lot of pros, your chances of winning increase dramatically. How's the basement after flooding? It wasn't that bad. I finally got my basketball court put back together. I got to get a huge battery backup solution to make sure that never happens again. Looks like we're bouncing. Probably a relief rally, but if it keeps going, cool. But one more leg down is expected. Yeah, you know, usually it's not this quick. It's usually not just a V-shaped recovery. There's always like a retest or something. But if the broader market is going to be hugely green tomorrow, then of course we can just bounce up to 60,000, right? It would not be surprising if we're at 60,000 by tomorrow morning. Yeah, we were just way too oversold today. Way too oversold. And if you're like a, you know, if you're like a TA guy, if you look at the daily chart, you could see that this wick, you could see the RSI now bouncing up. MACD is probably going to flip it into green. Stochastic coming up. This was a good reset. And that's also pretty positive, right? 4 hour already bounced up, same point. So we'll see. Had to stop my wife from having severe lettuce hands today. That was a close one. I mean, it was tough. I'll admit, it was tough this morning. It would have been tougher to see Bitcoin go into the 30s. I was kind of expecting that if this morning's sell-off continued, we would have seen Bitcoin go down to like 39 and then bounce up. But I'm glad it didn't happen because that would have caused way more panic dumping and way more liquidations. So I'm glad to see that we kind of stood at 50,000. I really hated the fact that we went to 49 because I had a large long position with a liquidation point at 49.7, and it, of course, it freaking triggered. Of course, it just seems like no matter what you put your liquidation price at, it triggers. So I was not too happy about that, but I'm happy that we didn't go lower. Solana and Meow end of year prediction, pump before Christmas. I honestly think around the September, October timeframe is when it'll become like February, March of this year, where things start really moving upwards. And after the new president comes in, elections happen, that's when we really start moving. If you look at, I have a halving event. Actually, I should just show it right now. I have a halvings chart. Okay, so if you zoom out, I don't know if this one's. If you look at like, when does Bitcoin really move after a halving? It's generally speaking like, look at this, okay? This is October right here. So we had the last halving around May, and then we didn't start moving until October, November. Guess what happened around that period? That's when we had elections and we had a new president come in. That was November, right? And if you look at around here, well, we had a halving there, but I mean, it's kind of like skewed because, okay, here we go. We had a halving here, right? When do we start moving? Well, around here, October, September, October. I mean, we did move up a little bit, but when we really started moving, when was that? October, November timeframe, leading into December, right? So I don't think it's going to be any different this time around. I think right around that October, November timeframe is when we really start moving upwards. Jenny says, I got wrecked for 30K. Yeah, I got wrecked for a little bit more, like 30. It was in the 30s, like 38K or something like that. And I got wrecked for like 12K like yesterday, so it's like 50K. It's not fun, okay? It was not fun. And I only had 5x leverage. I had one that was 4x that got liquidated. 5x was today's. So lesson is, if you had a 2x, you would be fine. 3x would be fine too. 4x is just too much. But like, you know, from here, I just can't see, even if we dip down more, like, man, I just can't see us going much lower from here. What was your recreational activities during the dips? I don't know. Today I just spent the whole day finding more IFC fighters. That's really it. I mean, I spent majority of my time just trying to matchmake for the IFC, and then plus spend a little time with the family. That's all. Douglas James. When was the last time you took out a Ferrari? It's been a long time, man. I took it out for like a car wash maybe like a month ago. To be honest, I have not given it a real good drive this year so far. It's just kind of sitting there. And I hate to say that because, you know, summer will be over soon, but I really have not given it any good drives at all. It's been sitting there mostly. Do you guys know who Eric Crown is? I think a lot of you guys know him. He's a, you know, trader, TA guy. He's also a boxer. You know, I'm trying to get him a fight, but it's tough. It's tough to find someone that'll take him on. If you guys know anyone that could be a good opponent for Eric Crown, let me know. Yeah, JR, you know, it's tough. Like, you know, the kids, they can't get in the car. Like, I would really just want to drive on a track, but I never have time to go to a track. I should just, like, make some time and just book an appointment or something. Otherwise, I'll just never be able to really drive the car. Robert says, I got wrecked on those two scam wicks around the launch of Bitcoin ETF, made 40K a few days ago, and then lost 38K on those effing wicks. It's just how it is. Sometimes, I mean, seriously, these market makers or exchanges, they know where all the major liquidation points are, and they just like, if they time it right, they just like liquidate a whole bunch of people. Like this morning, there was no reason why there should have been a wick like this. I mean, it could have just been casual down, but like to just do a wick like that, it's done purposely to liquidate the longs. I've been talking to Eric. Nice guy. He wants to find the IFC. It would be new for him, but the IFC is more MMA, not boxing. But he wants a major fight. It's hard to get someone with a lot of influence that could take him on because he has a lot of experience too. But if you guys know of anyone, let me know. Is it possible ETFs are causing issues? No. Tomorrow, I bet you'll see. Tomorrow, I bet you'll see that BlackRock took in like $200 million. Like that would not surprise me. That BlackRock was the one that was like buying and buying and buying, and everyone else selling. Yeah, at this point, it's not the ETFs. Something else is going on. I trade for fun. I've been learning my lesson back in 2017. Yeah, I do it too, just so I don't get too bored and I get kind of addicted to it. But I think overall I've lost more money trading than not trading, to be honest. There are periods I make a lot and then periods I lose a lot. So, but like overall recently, I think I've been losing a lot more than I'm winning. So it kind of sucks, to be honest. But, you know, it is what it is. You think we'll get a bigger pullback with Iran and Israel war? If it turns out to be like a full-blown war, yes, I think we'll get a dip. Whether it's going to be extreme dip, because, you know, like Russia and Ukraine is still ongoing and no one gives, you know, F anymore, right? The markets certainly don't. Not to take any away from either side, from tragedy to war, obviously, but like in terms of markets, no one cares. So, but at the very beginning, people did. So I wonder if it's the same thing. If Iran and Israel really get into it, Whether we see a temporary dip at the beginning and then we just recover. But again, it depends on a lot of factors, I guess. I don't know. I don't know enough about it to talk about it, but I would say that it could be similar to what happened with the Ukraine and Russia. I was just watching TikToks of Aiden Ross. He was telling his friends or something that he lost $37 million to crypto today. And he's asking for loans because he's out of money and he can't buy in. I wonder if he just lost like paper gains or he was playing with leverage and he actually lost $37 million. Because that's crazy. That's crazy. But then again, he makes so much from Kick, it doesn't really matter. Any chance the top 25 coins don't reach previous high? Top 25? I'd say all top 25 could. Maybe with the exception of someone like ICP will not. Maybe Polygon don't, although I still think they will. Bitcoin Cash will not for sure. Polkadot maybe, off chance. XRP certainly won't, I don't think. They're not going to hit $4 like before. All the others, I think they will. Ricky says, thoughts on Illuvium's 39. I just don't see it going back to 2K, man. They were very, very, very hyped up in 2021. I just can't see them making the same kind of comeback. But, who knows? Who knows? Maybe they can. I haven't played the game, so I can't tell you how great it is. But maybe they are great. All right, guys. So stay strong. We're getting a recovery. I think tomorrow could be good. Right? We're coming off from bottom. But know that the best strategy there is when it comes to Bitcoin, despite the up and downs, is to simply hold on DCA. That is what the big boys are still doing. That's what I'm doing. And hopefully that's what you're doing too. Because we will eventually recover back. It may come sooner than expected. And you're going to regret that you didn't take advantage. Or just hold on. All right, guys. Smash the like. Subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Usual time. 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.